Hello, welcome back to the next episode of All the Mods 10. And today I want to do some upgrades to some modern industrialization stuff. And then if we have time after that, we'll work on some other things. But between episodes, I did some work like I said I would at some point in the past. I don't remember when I said it. But I upgraded our infrastructure to what we had. We only had one compressor, and now we have 13. The reason we have 13, just for now at least, is because each compressor here has its own recipe. And the reason I'm doing that, and the reason that you might also want to do that, is because modern industrialization has an aspect of efficiency when it comes to crafting recipes. So efficiency works like this. Let's say you want to craft a stack of steel plates. Every time you craft a steel plate, the efficiency on the machine goes up, meaning it'll draw more power, but it'll also complete the craft faster. So let's say you do 64 in a row. By the time you get to that 64th craft, it's going to be very, very quick. Now, if you were to try to do 32 steel plates and then one gold plate in between, it'll completely reset the efficiency and you'll be back to square one. And also, it takes some time for the machine to cool down from its efficiency and then start the next craft. Meaning, if you have a lot of stuff you want to craft, it's probably in your best interest when it comes to electric machines to have one machine per recipe. It seems like a lot, and it honestly is a lot. I'm not sure how I feel about that mechanic at all, but it's got its pros and cons, so I'm kind of indifferent on it. So what I did was just ended up giving each one its own recipe here. So you got steel plates, or you got that plate, gold plates. Each plate we have so far that's being made by a compressor, I just made one compressor per recipe. And then back here, I came back here and gave it another one of its own subnets because we already have 13 channels on this and we're going to be expanding this just a little bit more here, like right now, pretty much. In this episode, probably more than likely. But I'm going to stop rambling and we're going to get into what I want to do with these machines right now. So when you open your modern industrialization machine, you'll see on the right side here, there's space for upgrades. You can add a redstone control model. I don't care about it. I'm not going to add it. You can add max processing EU per tick, which we are going to add. That allows the efficiency on the machine to go higher and higher. So it will draw more power per tick. However, the crafts will be faster. And here we have change machine hold, connect to higher tier cables. I also don't care about that since we're just inputting raw FE per tick. I don't think it matters. Because if you go into this, if you try to use the power that's native to modern industrialization, it kind of copies, like, not copies, but it takes the same approach as GregTech, and where you have different levels. You have like LV, HV, LUV, all these other different things, and those take in different amps, different power transfers, and all that. So if you are going just using raw modern industrialization, you're probably going to want that upgrade, but since we're not, I don't care. And then the next thing here, we have accepts an overdrive module, and we are going to want one of those. As you see here, an overdrive module, if you press shift on it, it shows you the electric machine efficiency. It'll stop it from going down at the cost of power. So these will kind of constantly consume power. However, we are producing so much power that, again, I don't care. And it'll stop the efficiency from going down. So before, when I said each machine has its own efficiency, like if you do 64 plates in a row, it'll get the 64 efficiency or whatever the limit is. And then once you stop crafting, that efficiency will go back down. However, with this upgrade, it will not go back down at the cost of just always consuming power, which I don't really care about, like I said. So craft these overdrive modules. Let's see what we can craft here. We do have diodes that we can craft. And just to make sure, because it's being weird. Yeah, so we have diodes that we can craft. We have the electrum fine wire we can craft. And I could have swore, yeah, we can craft the transistors too. So we have all this, and I think the electronic circuit board we can also craft. So yeah, we have everything we need for an overdrive module. So I'm gonna go ahead and we can encode, route of patterns in our little pocket. So we'll go ahead and encode an overdrive module and then put it into our thing here. And then for overdrive modules, we're probably going to want way more than 13. So I'm going to request like 40 for now. And then it has all that. And yeah, I'll let the machine get to work in actually a second. Because I'm also noticing that our wire mill here also has a couple recipes that this craft is going to use. So I want to make more electronic, let's see, wire mill. So yeah, there's an electric wire mill and a steel one. I want to make the electric one. And to make the electric one, it seems very easy and straightforward. We have crafts for all of this. And then, oh, by the way, this recipe made me realize, you'll notice we have some traders over here now. You've probably been hearing them reset their stocks or whatever, and I have them set up with our super factory manager. And essentially, this trader is set to analog circuits. I have the trade all the way down to 6 emeralds using the converter, and then this one's set to motors all the way down to 2 using the converter as well. I did a lot more trades with different villagers, and there's steel upgrades you can get through the villagers and the analog circuits. And you can also get rubber as well from them. Those seem to be like the only, for me and my setup and what I'm doing, the only worthwhile trades kind of. And I wouldn't even consider rubber a worthwhile trade for me. Because if we check out our rubber supply, I'm making it passively, so I don't need that trade. So the only trades I really care about are the analog circuit and the motors, because both of those cut out a big process underneath. If you look at the analog circuits here, there's a whole process to crafting these. These take crafts, these take crafts, and the crafts themselves take crafts. So if you can skip the analog circuits directly through a trade, that's probably the best approach. So I'm gonna stop yapping, and we're gonna go ahead and create our electronic wire mills. We're gonna create a recipe for it, and there we go. And then we'll also just put this in here, and then we're gonna want, for now at least, where is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wire mills. So we get this, I'll request 6 of these, and we should be good. And I'll wait for that to finish. So as you can see here, we have our overclock in action. So you see how it crafts, and then once it stops crafting, that efficiency just goes away, and then you're back to no efficiency at all. That's what we want to avoid, and that's what we're going to be working towards. But as you can see here, at max overclock, it consumes 32 EU tick. And again, I don't know the conversions. If it's a 1-to-1 for FE to EU, it used to be a 1 RF to like 4 EU conversion. So maybe. So if that conversion still holds true, this would still passively consume with the overdrive module probably around 150-ish FE per tick, which is nothing. So just so you know. Also, now that I'm looking at it, this alloy smelter is also horribly slow. So we're probably going to go ahead and create an alloy smelter, 2 more alloy smelters, one for the battery alloy ingots and one for the copper nickel ingots. Well, copper nickel, I don't think we actually need that one anymore. I just had that recipe for our EBF that I've since removed because we don't need it anymore. For now, at least, we don't need it. So yeah, I think next up is going to be an electric alloy smelter as well. Anything special about this one? No. The tin rotor we don't know how to make. The rest of it we do know how to make pretty easily. So what's the tin rotor need? So I'll also teach it how to make all these bolts and stuff. Which is tin rod, tin plates, bending machines. So yeah, we're gonna need a whole row. So where's our bending machine actually? Yeah, our bending machines, we're gonna need electric versions of those as well. But the tin rotor is pretty straightforward. I'm not gonna walk through that on camera. And then the bending machine also. Bending machine's more straightforward than the alloy smelter. So we'll want this, and I forgot to bookmark the other one, alloy smelter. So I'll go ahead and make the amount of machines that we need for that, and then come back. One other thing I wanted to point out, just in case anyone's curious, you don't need advanced pattern providers. I chose these solely because they're purple. We're getting some banger music. I don't know where it's coming from. My music's off. I don't know. But one thing I wanted to point out before I continued was that someone pointed out in the comments that if you just right-click the air with this thing, with your label gun, it shows you all the things, so I don't have to like scroll and go through it. So I really appreciate that tip. Can help me a lot. And then it's just alphabetical order from left to right, and then next line left to right. So very nice. Okay, so I went ahead and made more machines. We've pretty much replaced every single machine we had over here that had recipes with it. Well, not pretty much, we did. So any machine over here that had recipes with it, each of those got transformed into electric machines, and then each recipe in the pattern providers got its own machine. Now we have all those, and now we should be able to pretty quickly craft overdrive modules. So we're gonna need a lot. I don't know how many we need, but I don't think. Let's start with 50 and see how that goes. It'll take a while because none of them have overdrive modules, but it's definitely the good first upgrade to craft, so that way you don't lose it, and then you craft more quickly next time, and then the rest of the upgrades also come more quickly. But yep, I like seeing all the machines kick on though. It is very nice. Because if this was just going into one machine, these overdrive modules would take forever to craft, and then also B, they would be completely useless to you. Because if you press shift here, it says you can see that it says the recipe will be locked until the module is removed or the machine runs out of power, which means you can only use these on machines that only use one recipe. So just so you know. Also, these really weren't too hard to make. Word of warning, or I guess best tip to do this is like once you have the infrastructure to make one electric machine, start converting everything you have to electric machines at that point. Anything that has recipes, I would start converting to electric machines. And then, yeah, once you craft one, you can pretty much craft them all. Like can I have the keybind for this? It's like the electric compressor, pistons, and all of this is good stuff. Smelter, pretty much the same kind of requirements, or like lesser requirements. Everything's pretty much the same. The only thing that was a little bit different was the cutting machine, which requires conveyors and Invar rotary blades. Invar rotary blades are super easy, just diamond dust around an Invar gear. We already knew how to make both of those, and then oops, conveyors, motors, and rubber. All of this we have in abundance, either due to trades or passively crafting. So definitely do not go further into modern industrialization. I haven't played modern industrialization before, but I can already tell you with past like Great Tech experience and all that, do not go past this point without doing this, or you will be kicking yourself. One more point of just like things I've noticed. You don't like if you don't want to put one machine to one recipe, that's totally fine, totally understandable. The only machine that I would say you absolutely do need to have its own recipe is the recipe for battery alloy, because this craft takes forever, and when you're crafting like machines and stuff, it takes a lot. So I would definitely, if you only upgrade one machine, only give one machine your stuff, make it your battery alloy and get, because this is max efficiency, and by my standards this is still slow for a max efficiency like top tier smelter. This is still slow. Well, there we go. Now we have 50 overdrive modules, and I'm going to go ahead and start installing them on all the machines. Also, just so you know, I've just figured out you can just right-click the machine with the module in your hand, and it will install it. You don't need to go in the inventory. And we have 13 left over, so we really needed 37, but that's nice. We'll definitely absolutely use those and then some going forward with this mod anyway. But yeah, there's our modern industrialization, all nice and upgraded. I just felt like doing it. It was something I knew needed to be done, and I don't want to do it off camera and be like, we went from like 3 steel machines to 37 electric machines. You know, I didn't want to be like, what is happening, you know? But since we upgraded, we can go ahead and turn this requester back on, or not that, do this, and then we'll start continue crafting our electronic circuits. We have quite a few. I just want to make sure we have enough for the next thing. We should be making them much, much faster now than we were, because like, look at all these machines that kicked on. They all used to have to wait for one like steel machine. So definitely worth it. Yeah, much faster. It used to be like one every 5-ish minutes, maybe over exaggerate, maybe like 4 minutes. But now we can do one every like 15 seconds. So huge upgrade. And then there's actually one more random thing I've been wanting to do for a really long time. But now that we have infinite clay, believe it or not, that's what I was waiting on to get infinite clay. Now that we have that, I want to do it, and I want to make a really big and automated, obviously. Turn the magnet off. I cannot go in this room with the magnet on, or my inventory will die of death. One big automated loot, hostile mob neural network automation thing here. And the reason I was waiting so long is because these prediction matrices take clay, and it's not like it's one clay to 16. It's really, I could have been doing it the whole time, but I really just want to get infinite clay first. That's just what I want to do. I don't know. I'm gonna make one big thing with all the data models that we have. So I'm gonna go ahead and make one and automate all of it. We don't need Enderman. I get. Oh, you get heads this way, so we do need it for that. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and just automate this. And I'll come back and show you guys what I did. Um, Before I cut though, if you guys can guess which mod is gonna be crucial in automating this, you'll win a prize. And there we go, one wall of loot fabricators and simulation chambers. And if you guessed what mod was integral to this automation and you said Super Factor Manager, then you get a prize. What's your prize? You get to subscribe. Congratulations. Congratulations. And you know what? Even if you didn't get it right, I'm feeling pretty generous today, and I'll also allow you to subscribe as well. I know I'm generous, and just for that generosity alone, you guys should subscribe. So anyway, a little bit about this automation. I'll kind of walk you guys through it. There's a lot of trial and error, which is why I usually don't do it on camera, because it is a lot of trial and error when it comes to this stuff. So I'd rather just show you guys the finished product, and that way it's a lot less confusing and stuff. So about this, we have our subnet, obviously that's part of the course at this point, and from here we have a thing of production matrices with acceleration cards and a crafting card for this stuff. Pretty standard. Here's our import chest, also pretty standard for our setups, and then we have power as well. I did discover that if you just slap an energy cube on top of a flux accessor, you actually don't need to do a cable or anything. It says you, if you look at the whatever for this, the docs for this flux accessor, it says it needs a cable coming out extracting, and if you put like a mechanism cube on it, and then you just say input on the bottom from where it is, that also works just fine as well. So yeah, I would not worry about that. No need for a cable. Figure that out. One less thing you have to worry about. And then obviously we have all of our loot fabricators and then all of our simulation chambers with whatever we want. So each simulation chamber, if it has a data model, will be filled with prediction matrices at all times. And then the predictions get pulled out and then the predictions get put in here. The only downside to this setup is, for whatever reason, Hostile Neural Networks has a really weird, it's not necessarily a downside per se. It kind of makes things a little bit more expandable. But I noticed hostile neural networks in terms of from a code perspective doesn't really have, however these are labeled, I'm not sure how they're labeled in the code and I can't figure it out. So we have every prediction going into wherever it can go. So I just have to go through and choose, hey, what do we want? I think, what do we want? I think Dragon's Breath is more useful for us. Yeah, because I don't think the Dragon Egg's really used for anything. Used for this Arcane Dragon Egg. And that's, yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Breath. Breath is used for quite a bit. But also not that much. Because we have, how much Dragon's Breath do we have? Dragon's Breath 904. We only have 2 eggs. So let's go and choose eggs for now. And the cool thing about this is I can choose different, I guess it is a kind of a plus. So any matrix can go in any of these. I just have to click which ones do what. So for this example, we have enemy predictions here. I have to choose this. But the cool thing is loot fabricators do remember which choice you have for which prediction. So in that term, you can get pretty much all the loot you want this way. We want for this, we want for that. Some of these won't, but so I'll have to come back and check periodically to see which ones we want. And just like do whatever loot we want. That's really the only downside. The rest of this is pretty easy and straightforward. Everyone else is cooking away, nether stars. Yeah, so I'll have to periodically come back and make choices. But other than that, it's really compact, obviously. And there's not a lot of cables. And yeah. So I think it's finally time for us to start looking into getting the ATM star. We're in a pretty good place foundationally to start getting into this. No, we don't have everything from every mod, and by that I mean mostly just the magic mods we haven't touched. But the rest of these we can go ahead and get started with. And since we already did some modern industrialization today, I think we should work towards it here as well. So if a modern industrialization has a couple things, you need uranium quad fuel rods for the star, blast proof casing, and large advanced motors. So for no other reason, let's just start looking into the large advanced motors and seeing what that takes. So going down the rabbit hole as a kind of Greg Tech type mod, there is a massive rabbit hole to get to these motors. So I want to start today, or not today. Oh, we're already done. We already started today, but I want to start this process by getting stainless steel into our system. So to get stainless steel, there is a huge process, and I'm probably not even going to get it at this episode, to be honest. I don't know how deep the rabbit hole actually goes. So to get stainless steel, let's go ahead and just remove the rest of this stuff for right now. To get stainless steel, you need stainless steel hot ingot. To get stainless steel hot ingot, you need an EBF, Cooper nickel tier. Well, we're going to make a Canthal coil. I think Canthal is better than Cooper nickel. What does it take to make Canthal? It takes Canthal coil, which takes Canthal plates, thank you. Which takes Canthal ingots, which takes stuff that we don't have. Cryo fluid and Canthal hot ingots. We have to go through the whole process again. Let's see how we can do this. I've noticed a recursive theme here, so we actually cannot get Canthal dust without stainless steel. So we're just gonna back off the the Canthal for now, and we do need to actually just unfortunately get stainless. No, actually, you only need the stainless steel dust, not the ingot. So apparently there's some way to get this dust, which just requires chromium dust, manganese dust, and nickel dust and iron dust. So let's check on these. Nickel dust, we know we have. Manganese and chromium are a maybe. So let's see. Do we have any chromium? We have no chromium in the system. That's to be expected, I guess. So let's see. To get chromium dust, you need chromium ingot. To get chromium ingots, dude, there's a whole hot. What is this system, man? This heat exchanger is going to be huge. I already see it. We're going to need quite a few of these. So get chromium hot ingots. Back to this fucking EBF, man. Chromium dust. So I gotta be missing something. There seems to be some kind of recursive loop without being able to get the stuff. So we get the hot ingot. Let's see. So I think I found it. You can only get chromium from tiny piles of chromium, and that seems to be more or less the only way to get it. Every 20 seconds you get 3 with this, or we can go for a chromium B, which, let's see. We want a chromium B. I almost guarantee you I have to make a spawn egg. And place your bets right now. Place the bets. So we definitely need that, which means we need the chromium B. Who won? The chromium B spawn egg. You have to centrifuge 6 ruby spawn eggs. Okay. So to get the ruby spawn egg, I gotta get ruby. Okay, so let's look up the ruby, shall we? Ruby. At least, okay. At least we have somewhere to start. We're gonna get chromium by the end of the episode. How about that? We're gonna really dial our expectations back 600,000 yards. And we will just do the ruby block with diamond bees and get some rubies. And according to this, we could get chromium crushed dust from ruby dust, which means we could just use the rubies themselves. However, I'd like to bypass this whole thing because ruby is used for nothing else other than getting chromium dust and aluminum dust. And I'm pretty sure we have enough aluminum in the system. We don't need more aluminum. That's a whole process. You saw it took 2 minutes to get like 6 or 1 or whatever it was. So it's definitely not worth it. So if we look up the crushed chromium dust, yeah, sorry, it's 112 seconds for 1, so absolutely not doing it. And we're just gonna go for the chromium spawn. The chromium spawn egg is what we want. And we actually don't have a lot of rubies, I guess. So what we need to do here is probably go ahead and grab our digital miner. And let's see, if we go ahead here, config, let's do a new filter, tag. Do you have a tag? No. Okay, so it's new item stack of ruby. Try ruby ore. Save, no item, okay. tag of okay. Okay. If you just do tag asterisk ruby asterisk, that'll also get it. So we can go ahead and do that and then grab our power supply. Digital miner is absolutely worth it in every single way. And then let's go ahead and get the, that can stay on. That can turn off. Ruby. Not that much. Okay. Even in the mining dimension, there's just not a lot of Ruby going on. I don't know what's going on. It's not really used though, so it's not that big of a deal. Like I said, if you go through the Ruby, it's not used for anything. Jewel crafting a little bit. But other than that, it's really you'd only want it for like the dust, and even it's just a chromium. So it's pretty useless, so it's not that big of a deal, I guess. There is ruby essence though, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and make that. Not because I want the rubies, but because I want the rubies so I can make bees. I'm just not sure. I want to make sure we have enough ruby to get 6 spawn eggs. That's really it. And I don't think, 14 and now 17 is not gonna cut it, so never mind on that plan. It doesn't take these. It takes the things. What was it? The ruby. They take iron, gems, and jewelry. I don't want to make those. The only thing from this mod that is here is crafting station, and can't really get that. So I'm thinking you might have to find them in like spawn chests and stuff, and I'm not doing that. So yeah, found a good batch here, so that hopefully this will bring us over. All right, let's start converting these ruby bees or diamond bees. I guess we're converting them. Really. Like so. We become a ruby bee. Thank you. Place them all down. Oh. Eh. Eh. There we go. And one more. Now, if y'all would be so kind as to get crushed, that'd be fantastic. Rubies crushed. Thank you. We only got 3. So we need at least twice that. And I would like more than 1 chromium bee. Let's what is chromium all used for? I'm assuming it's used for a lot. So the chromiums. Oh, and we only get the tiny dust too. Ugh. So the chromium ingot is used for. I'm just gonna assume it's used for a lot. So I'm just gonna repeat this process for the next 17,000 hours. Well, after over 40 bees, we have 8 vials. So I'm not sure how this chromium's going to work out. We'll see though. Hopefully it is enough, but we'll see. I kind of doubting it at this point. And there we go. Now we have 8 ruby spawn eggs. So what I'm going to do actually is we're going to save the 2 extra that we have. And what we're going to do is spawn these and then have them actually produce us ruby. So I can keep doing this process for chromium because I don't want to keep going after like use a digital miner. Actually, I'm what the kids call stupid. I wish they can breed some of these together. I just automatically assume you can't do it. So I'm just gonna keep doing this. This is much. Don't mind me. And there we go. We got enough for our second spawn egg. I made a couple more because I didn't know how much more we're gonna need, but apparently we don't need much more than that. So we go ahead and get our honey treats. Go and grab honey treats. Hello. Honey treats. We will make 6 more ruby spawn eggs. So we'll go ahead and grab some eggs here. And now we have a total of 12 ruby spawn eggs, which is exactly how many we want. Because now we can just go throw these in our centrifuge. Over. Do we have a centrifuge? Now that I'm thinking about it. We have an electric centrifuge. I don't think so. Luckily, we can make centrifuges. They just take large motors and large pumps. Everything we know how to make. The pumps we can make. We have the motors. Someone teach us how to make it. Nothing else. There's nothing here that we're not producing already. I just have to teach you a couple extra recipes. And there we go. 1 centrifuge. Actually, it's in the centripetal force. I forgot about that word. I won't lie to you. I forgot about that. I'm just gonna go ahead and place it here, and then just to give it power, we will pull labels here. Go for electric machine. Electric machine. Here, push it, and now you should have power. And if I just give you 6 spawn eggs, do not tell me it's moving this slow. Oh, why? I also noticed to get chromium nuggets, you can centrifuge lava, but that takes 30 seconds and you only have a 25% chance of getting it. I think bees are definitely going to be faster here because it still takes 9 to make a ingot here. And, you know, it takes 9 to make a dust. So it's the same thing. It's 9, 9, and, yeah, that 30 seconds or whatever to get, whereas it's, the chromium ingots. Yeah, so get one of these. Yeah, every 30 seconds for a 25% chance of one. I don't think so. Even if that hit every single time, that would take you 270 seconds. So almost, what is that? I don't know. That's like so long to get a full ingot. So definitely not worth it, honestly. But we should, it should be done now. Now we have 2 chromium bee spawn eggs. Here are chromium bees. You will be max upgraded. Please come to me. Thank you. And then I will breed these together. And it just now occurred to me, we're going to need chromium in the first place to get them to breed. Or not breed, pollinate. Yeah. So we're going to need a block anyway. So we might have to do that lava approach. How do we get chromium? Chromium. So yeah, we're going to have to probably do the lava approach. Just for a little bit. But yeah, this is going to suck. Yeah, I'll do it passively, and then we'll hopefully really speed up the process. But yeah, I'm just gonna breed these together with, since they have max stats. Get out of here. No one needs you anymore. And then tell me you breed with flowers. Thank God. Yeah, so we'll get the bees, and then I'll set up the centrifuge. Honestly, I'll do it right now. What I'm gonna do is, since we have a centrifuge here, what we can do is, oh, thank God, we got some cable here. We can just run real quick. And then grab an exporter with acceleration cards, as always. And then slap that there. Grab some lava. Acceleration. And hopefully this just starts producing what we want. And then I'll just let this run for, hopefully not forever, but considering how fast it runs and the odds of us getting chromium, that's going to take a while. And there is no efficiency boost on these things. I'm angry. But here are all our max stat bees. I'll just go ahead and give them home. Here, oh, they could have gone places if I didn't put the Omega upgrades in. Put the Omega upgrades. And then they will, at some point, be... Oh, damn it. I didn't mean to do that. Once... Oh, we got our first nugget. Let's go. It's only going to take 7 more years. And the reason I'm not getting chromium the other way, the other ways you can get chromium is just because like you need chromium hydrochloric solution, which needs chromium crush dust actually. So in terms of chromium, this seems to be the only way you can generate it from what I can see. And it doesn't matter if it's not the only way, because any other way that you can generate it, I would just be tearing it down instantly after we get what we need anyway. But it really does seem like this is the only way to get it. The chromium ingot. It really seems like this is the only way it wants you to get chromium. Weird. 11 down, 70 more to go. All right, let's go. I went AFK for a couple hours to go hang with some family. So now we have enough chromium ingots to make 9 and then some. We almost can make 2 blocks of chromium from that. It only took, I don't know, 4 hours. But yeah, so where did I put the Chromium B? In here, right? Yeah, so Chromium B is in here. And now we have Chromium, and now they will pollinate and create Chromium, or tiny Chromium. And before we end the episode, someone did point out in the comments that you can get silicon ingots from, where is it? The unpacker of this, and a block of silicon can be created from extended AE, which is just silicon. So it's a much faster way to do it if you just want silicon. However, I'm just gonna keep our current setup running because I looked into it and we already have 25,000 silicon dust. So might as well use it. If we ever do need like a lot of silicon, then I'll definitely use it. But also a plus side of doing silicon this way is we get beryllium dust, and you do need beryllium dust a little bit. Beryllium. Let's see. So to get it, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Beryllium dust. So to get this, it's really just emerald dust. That's the only way to get it, it seems. So let's keep running it because we will need it at some points for what do you call it? Progression. So I'm just gonna leave things the way they are unless we do end up needing a booty load of silicon. But yeah, so we got Chromium up and running in our system today, and hope you guys enjoyed. And oh, also yes, we upgraded all of this, so pretty big day for modern industrialization. We'll probably continue with it next episode, just because I want to get this finished out for the ATM star, and we're gonna need a couple more things, but I think we should be. We'll see how fast we get knocked out. Our speed should definitely increase from here, though. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Actually, before I go, one absolutely off the wall random thing. I automated our bees completely, just because I was tired of waiting for genes and then going picking up flowers myself. I forgot about the vanilla mechanic for bees that if you bone meal a rose bush, it gives you another rose bush. And rose bushes can be used to breed the bees. So now we have a whole bunch of bees being bred automatically at all times, and then we'll just very gradually get a lot of genes. But I did notice it's a little bit too fast for our gene indexer. Yeah, we'll need multiple gene indexers. No, then they'll still gradually all fill up. So at least we'll have a source of roses. How about that? It's just too good.